All righty. We are live once again. Hello, Internet, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those in between. Welcome back to Talk Nerdy to Me. I am your perpetually disheveled host, Alex. We might see that we have a new face here. We are doing the same old program, but there's this new face that I want to have introduce themselves. So, Paulette, go ahead and let our viewers know who you are.
I am Paulette Anderson, aka Belmorte. You can find me online at Belmorte66 on X and other places across social media. I'm also the community manager for Fantasy Grounds.
Well, welcome to the show. We're happy to have you. And the community manager for Fantasy Grounds. That is, I'm a little bit starstruck. I love playing games with my VTTs. It's how I play with friends. But gushing aside, Gomi, my old reliable.
Yeah, I'm back as always to bring a little bit of joy and happiness to the world, or at least talk about AI.
Which I mean, very rarely mutually exclusive, but at least we get to see the the good, the bad, and the ugly. However that might be, but yeah, let's get right into it, because we've been out of the saddle for quite a while. It has been a year for tech, nerddom, and gaming, tabletop and otherwise. So why don't you start us off with our techie talk?
All right. So I assume everybody here has heard of OpenAI and ChatGPT. They're big in the AI space, getting funded massively by Microsoft to do their thing. But I find I've just sort of started looking into Sam Altman, the CEO of the place, and to me, this actually smacks of a really great character background for me as a GM to sort of throw into my campaigns, to have somebody in the background who they can learn to loathe. Because technically the company started as a non-profit, then it moved into some weird hybrid thing, and now it's currently commercializing, chasing more venture capitalist funding. So they're constantly chasing the dollar for all that sort of thing, because they're losing about $700,000 a day running ChatGPT and the like. So back in May, they decided to disband their AI safety team because they don't care about the risks. Then reformed it like 2 weeks later with different people, including the CEO himself, leading it up. And then sort of towards the end of May, Scarlett Johansson also lawyered up because they were using her voice without her permissions and hadn't actually paid for it. So wonderful sort of stuff. But the thing that really tweaked my evil game master brain was one of the ChatGPT, one of the researchers in there, released I think it was a 120-page document called Situational Awareness, looking at the decade ahead for AI. And looking at the summary of it, I thought, wait a minute, something doesn't quite feel right here. And then Sabine, somebody or other, a YouTuber, went into details. And one of the reasons I looked at was thinking that they're not going to be able to have enough training data, because you need massive amounts of data to make these things work. And they're going to run out. And so she pointed out the fact that they won't even have enough energy to run these systems. But I was thinking, why the hell did they release that at the start of June? It just didn't really make sense to me. And then a week later, former NSA head joins the OpenAI board and their safety committee. And so looking back at it, I'm going, the reason they pumped that document out there was to say, hey, American government, watch out, China, scary, blah, 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 and to draw people in. So I look at that little sequence of events and go, oh, that's something I can take as a game master and just drop straight into my campaign for somebody evil to sort of run a series of events and that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it was just sort of that sort of idea kicking it off. And, of course, everybody's talking about how AI is going to transform the world and that sort of thing. What I've done in my own, I suppose, Cyberpunk Red game I'm running here in Australia is I've modified the game so that it has 5% employment. We don't talk unemployment, we talk employment. So that means 95% of the world population is unemployed, which of course leads to more disruptions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's just me riffing fun. But I mean, basically, the stuff I'm now sort of seeing is people are becoming aware of the AI hype bubble. And as all bubbles, it has to pop at some time.
Yeah.
For me, I want my brain back to the 90s, the late 90s, when the Y2K bug did its thing and then disappeared. How you had everything was going to be e-commerce and it was going to be glorious, and things totally transformed from that. So it all comes into a thing referred to in tech circles as vaporware. It's a lot of talk, a lot of noise, but not much going on. John Stewart had a bit of a chat about one, and Adam Conover on YouTube, and they're the ones that I sort of picked out that I've thought to me is like going, yep, these are actually reasonably well balanced kind of things going on. So, yeah, and for me, it's coming down to 4 basic rules on how to treat AI, and that is treat them like the Fae. Count the fingers and toes.
Yeah.
Salt rings can track them.
Yeah,
because there's a car that they did that round.
Yeah, count the fingers and toes. Don't give them your don't give them your name. Don't give them your face.
Watch your words.
Yeah, that's.
And the 4th one is ask it 3 times. There's a guy called Upper Echelon Games TV or something like that on YouTube, and he was going into how ChatGPT is actually deeply biased. And what he ended up doing was basically asking it the similar sorts of questions 3 times and refuting some of the things it was giving to get to what it actually thought. So 4 fairly simple little rules on how you could actually drop AI as an entity into the thing and give the players little hints about something weird's going on here. Now, moving forward is how AI gets pushed into everything, probably too soon. We have AI as an agent of chaos. The first is I found a critical AI incident database, which is incidentdatabase.ai online, and it has well over a couple of 100 articles going into accidents, injuries, things happening that involve AI that you could pluck one out of and just rehash for your own game. So to me, I look at that and go, that's something I'm going to be going for and using. And then, of course, there's an article by Aaron Dorapkin, I think it is, at tech.co, who basically lists off where AI goes wrong. And as a list of updates and so errors that have occurred. This includes things such as deepfakes of British politicians abusing staff that goes viral.
Oh.
This includes Mr. Beast's face and voice used to do a deepfake scam. This is the horrific Willy Wonka experience in Glasgow that caught the world's attention earlier this year. This is the whole Microsoft Copilot / recall debacle that's happened in the last month, where they've pushed this out and said, no, we encrypt all the stuff on your computer so nobody can access it, blah, 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 it's all safe. And within a couple of days, hackers had actually written stuff that could go in there, pipe it up, pull it up and say, this is what they're doing. And, things like taking snapshots every 3 seconds, running it through an AI thing to say, this is what they're doing. So personal banking records and all that sort of stuff becomes stored on your computer where you don't want it. You want it up here where the digital systems can't access it.
Yeah.
So, these are all sort of AI disrupting the way things work, which led me into a beautiful, absolutely beautiful new definition, slop. AI slop. So you have scams, pretty obvious. Spam, lots of email. Slop is the AI term for a whole bunch of rapidly produced content that just fills up the bucket with absolute garbage.
Yes, I think it's the second time since we've all been on call together. I've used the empty calories, and when it comes to what it actually provides.
Yeah,
that's wild.
And that's the thing. And there's a whole bunch of scammers who are basically turning Twitter/X into a bottomless money pit. They're setting up AIs and doing engagement farming on Twitter. And if they have a little checkbox tick thing, they can engage with each other and tell other people and get paid for it. Do it enough, they start raking in more money. And so I don't know how long this will last on there, but it shows if there's a flaw in the system, people are going to exploit it, which is the whole Cyberpunk methodology anyway. Now, let's move to the positive side of things. What's happening in terms of the fight against these AI systems? So just in the last little bit, we had, who was it? There was somebody who basically did, a company was, I've got to read through this quickly. Can't remember, doesn't matter. But there's now a new artist collective, Instagram, that was the problem. Instagram are now changing their terms of service so that they can scrape all the artist art and feed it to their AI. Microsoft is doing the same thing with Recall, and Adobe are doing things with the changes, potentially doing those sorts of things with the changes to their terms of service. And there's a big AI kick-up about that as well. Day or two after that happened, Affinity had a 50% flash sale on all their stuff, who are a competing product for publishing, photo editing, and illustration. But anyhow, so in fight against Instagram, we have a new website called Kara. It's just gone from, I would say, mid tens of thousands of users to close to 1 million in the space of 2 weeks.
Kara
Because
spelled Kara?
No, CARA.app.
Kara.app.
Now,
for curious viewers. Okay.
Yeah. So by all means, check it out, because they have basically taken a stance of, we will not use your art on any training data, and they have a built-in service to add in glaze to your artwork. This is stuff we talked about earlier this year, late last year, about a way of protecting the images you create. So if it's used as training data, it's not useful at all. Mm-hmm. In a similar vein, I've also mentioned poisoning the well with nightshade, which is designed to subtly put stuff into your art to make it mistrain the data. So that's, one thing. Another is that there's, for a website, you have a robots.txt file. This is designed to sit in the background and say, hey, what are you allowed to look at on this website? What can you scan and add to your stuff? They're now using that to block AI bots, and that's becoming more accepted across the web, although that's about it in terms of that one. So some things going the right way. Have you noticed in Google, using Google regularly, you see these overviews?
Yeah.
These AI summaries. Mm-hmm. Now, this is another great enshittification of the internet, as Cory Doctorow has wanted to say. But there is a very useful website called udm14.com that automatically removes the AI stuff from the web searches. And it's just, in Google, it's a background code you can add to say, no, don't bother with the AI research and that sort of stuff. So, yeah. It's probably going to become more useful as a bit of a research tool, because it does sort of get rid of the AI side of things. And so, that's a brief summary, jumping through a dozen different things at once.
It sounds like it's more or less the equivalent of like an information arms race. AI counter AI. It's whenever there's an innovation, you're going to have, be it for good or for ill, you're going to have people trying to capitalize, push back.
Oh yeah,
twist.
Yeah,
that's the Nightshade was one of the saving graces. I'm glad to see that there's more things countering against just AI muckraking the internet for everything.
Well, I don't know about yourself, but I've seen a lot of YouTube channels sort of leap up that just spit out AI content really, really quickly.
Yeah.
And even before AI became commonplace, there were one or two YouTubers who had worked out a system where they could take Reddit entries or Stack Exchange questions and answers, and automatically generate a video on that.
Yep, green text.
And this is
They
and this
green
is
text with Microsoft Sam. Yeah.
and basically they were churning out hundreds of videos a day, at a rate that is not humanly possible. So yeah, trying to make money off what's going on. So I mean, the rest of the stuff I can happily talk about is more, I suppose, gaming and social related.
Let's touch on gaming. So that'll then be a good segue into our second segment.
Well, for me, I have to admit, addicted slightly to Helldivers 2. I spent well over 120 hours playing and enjoy it. Yes, victory. Sorry, liberty. But the Sony PSN linking scandal that popped up.
Yeah.
And to me, I look at this and go, this was a really little cool piece of internet event, for want of a better term, where, following its release, it hit, 600, 700,000 concurrent users. They had huge problems keeping up. But then and that was in February, and then in May, Sony mandates PlayStation Network linking, even for those who are in the Steam community. And the community responded very harshly. That day, there was 62,000 negative reviews, or reviews that switched from positive to negative. The following day, 110,000, and then 150,000, and another, and then Sony changes their tune and says, "Okay, we've learned from this. We're not going to do it." All that kind of stuff. And the community then responds again by flipping the reviews back, because it's one of those few avenues that you have to, I suppose, express your displeasure to a corporation, because the ways of communicating with it directly are becoming harder. And this is, where communication becomes far more important, because if you have a customer base, you do want to keep them happy and engaged and all that sort of stuff. So,
yes, because especially now with a lot of entertainment journalism. Here we are being kind of entertainment journalists ourselves, but the big the really big titles that we have grown accustomed to in the last 15-20 years. There's a growing disparagement between the reviewer score and the audience score. You have to use the Rotten Tomatoes methodology of things, and because there's some journalists are people too. They will have their biases no matter what it's and that's fine. People are allowed to like what they like, but it's there's a lot of things where there's some obvious obfuscation that occurs, and so having the real time ability to because especially because God bless Steam graphs for putting things in a visual the graph, the just absolute just tank that reviews made, supposed to be becoming a cape. I'm still waiting for it.
Yes.
But yeah, that was it was wild, and it's one of those things where it's a bunch of guys in corner offices making decisions because of bottom lines. But if there's one thing that they should have known by that point, despite all the times the Helldivers community of players have been given impossible tasks, is that the Helldivers 2 community has weapons grade hyperfocus.
Yes.
We all share this. We all share the same brain cell, and so and it worked. But no, it was a cool thing to see. There's the whole thing of especially the whole state countries where the PSN isn't available. That's still
not available.
Still a point of contention. So there's several people that for obvious reasons they haven't changed their their review because the game they've been playing, they can't play it anymore because it got pulled. Which is
on that one, I think those who purchased prior to all this blowing up can still play.
Okay.
but no one from those countries can actually purchase it anew. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
So that is a small concession as it comes down to it. Like, as things could have gone, actually, like, a rare win for the consumer and the growing like anti-consumer market, especially in video games. From like like the AAA standpoint and everything. But I went to college for that kind of stuff. I can go on forever. Instead, we have a thing for games, tabletop and otherwise. Paulette, is a good
Of course,
segue as ever.
it's time for it's the summer sale right now on Steam and Fantasy Grounds, and yeah, like right now, Fantasy Grounds anywhere up to 75% off of different titles. So that's
in regards to that, Humble Bundle actually has a Pathfinder 2 bundle that includes stuff for Fantasy Grounds as well. So
no, that ended last week.
No,
I did it. No, I thought it was ending today. Okay.
Oh, I have to keep up.
Okay. Because I checked it this morning. I thought, okay, cool. That's still active.
It still showing?
I'm just going to check the timer on it because it has 2 days, 14 hours, and 13 minutes according to what I've got here.
They re-upped it again before we saw it. Oh, well, then it's still around, which is great. What I love is if you get the Fantasy Grounds Humble Bundle with that, you buy the $30 plus, then you get a core license. Well, with the core license, you can play with other people at the table that have core licenses. Or you can upgrade it during the sale. I think it's $26 more right now. Normally it's $30 to upgrade it to Ultimate. And then all your players, they don't need licenses. They can play for free. So it's a pretty great deal.
Especially, you've got if you've got a forever DM in your pocket,
there you go.
Because especially in the era of because back in the days of elves, but before the dark times, before the empire, the DM tithe was pizza and beer, and that would that make sure a TPK did not occur. But now it's like, that can't feasibly happen. But having chipping in to get everyone give your DM that ultimate pass to make a VTT more readily accessible for everyone. That's an awesome choice.
Yes.
Are you saying that all the casseroles I brought to the table are the reasons my elf always got great things when she looked?
I'm going to plead the fifth there. Because, I'm not your GM. All I know is that as a forever GM, my players are a bunch of meth-addled kobolds. And the campaign I'm currently running, quite literally, and a couple of gnolls too. But no, it's that thing where hey man, sometimes a little still a slide of something across the table and a wink to the GM gets that goes places. But that's awesome. And yes, I played with Fantasy Grounds the first time with this channel, and I fall in love with it as a virtual tabletop thing goes. So,
I love it.
It's so disingenuous to use a Todd Howard line of it just works, but it legitimately does. A lot of VTTs, like other ones, I've just had a lot of frame issues or loading time issues. I haven't had that. Granted, my house is wired horrendously. When it comes so I'm throttled for bandwidth at any given time, but Fantasy Grounds works like a dream. And if I have to expend income, in my Comic-Con budget, I'm gonna be hopping on those sales as best as I can.
And of course, now Adam Bradford, famous for D&D Beyond and Demiplane, is now our new CDO. So,
okay.
Lots of new changes are coming. He's already done a beautiful job overhauling the website. So, and he said next he's going to go under the hood and start working inside the app and updating the launcher.
I want to pick your brain and know what changes go down the pipeline, but I'm also pretty sure NDAs exist.
Okay, so we have 2 meetings on Monday. Half the team's in one, half's the other. The dev team is one, I'm in the other. I don't usually know until right before it happens. Unfortunately.
Well, viewers in TV land, I tried. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. Yes, I'm excited. I love the platform and I love the support it has for streamlining the experience for players and GMs, and now with the bringing the because I'm terrible with names. The fellow you brought in, he was what was his position at D&D Beyond before?
Adam Bradford,
Mm-hmm.
D&D Beyond, he's the one that made it.
Oh, he's the actual. Okay.
And sold it to Hasbro, then left Hasbro, started Demi, went in with Demi Plane. Then they just sold that to Roll20, and he came to us.
Okay. So, cool. So yeah, you just had like an Einstein thing
his
coming over.
pedigree is stellar.
Yeah. All right. I was like, oh, he's like, a technical guy. No, he actually founded it. That's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
If anything else, the pipeline is promising. I'm looking forward to see what the next year has. No, keep on going.
It's amazing. Like in a year, our 2D viewer, and they're still working on ways that you can play the game. There's so many things that are coming up, things that I do know that I can't talk about, but there's things that have been leaked. There's a lot coming. Hopefully by next month, I'll have some things I can leak.
Is it leak or leak? I don't want to get leaks. We don't want to get you in trouble. But that is God, I'm excited. Especially because summer is when tabletop always picks up too. So doubly excited.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Of course, Roll20 also, positive that they got Demiplane, and the negative, and a little bit of a leak this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the I had to go and change my password.
Yeah,
it's the.
And that's something you should be doing across the board. It doesn't matter what website you're on. Change your passwords often because you never know.
Yeah.
Check out haveyoubeenpwned.com because that way you can put in your email and it'll tell if your email appears on hack lists of what has been owned and handed out by people, including potential passwords. Definitely worth knowing and definitely worth doing every so often. If you happen to have a Gmail account, I think they automatically do that for some password management. So yes. And to save yourself from having to use your brain to remember all those unique passwords you should be doing, I tend to use Bitwarden personally.
Bitwarden, okay. I'm part of me is a grognard caveman. I have my stationery. My notepads can't be hacked yet. Yes, until the Neuralink happens and people can just record what I say. But we're getting back into tech. We're talking about tabletop stuff. So yeah, I don't.
You're talking about Roll20, wasn't it?
Yeah, Roll20 having another security breach. We just let us have nice things. God bless America. But it's and it's all right. It's goes to show that if something is getting hacked, it's doing well. If it's getting hacked or DDoSed, right?
Yeah.
So but was it suffering from success? So it's I guess a good problem to have.
Well, fortunately, it seems like they caught it quick.
Yeah, that's also very good. Yeah, it wasn't like some kind of like backdoor trickle where they could keep just harvesting information. So that's thank goodness for that. But yeah, it's not the first time it's happened. It's not gonna be the last, but at least it's not like not. I don't want to name names, but Sony, which is part of the part of the big issue with the the previous thing we talked about, right? Because abysmal security history, and
Yeah.
good on Roll20 for being more on top of it than one of the biggest video game like
At least they're willing
conglomerates.
to talk about it, because a lot of companies will actually not mention the fact that they've been hacked. And I'm not too sure about the laws in the US, but in some cases in Australia, they actually have to go and say, oh, yeah, we've been hacked, and notify authorities and take some steps to rectify it. But yeah, laws everywhere are different. So, say la vie.
It's but but is there? So we've got the fantasy grounds,
Of course,
and then Roll20.
of course, the bless you made me think of another thing.
Oh,
So we're getting our first. The Catholic Church is preparing to canonize its first gamer saint.
I
saw that.
When I saw that link in the show notes, I was expecting an Onion article. But
No.
enlighten me. And our viewers, what?
Carlo Acutis, he died in 2016 at 15 years old. He had leukemia. He used his platform where he was a social media influencer, gamer, but he used it to promote the Catholic Church. Well, so far they have recognized 2 miracles, which is what it takes to become canonized. And yeah, he looks like he's going to be the first gamer saint, which I think is kind of neat. You're getting somebody modern.
But man, like, I want to know what the miracles were.
The first one, a Brazilian boy was healed of, I believe it was congenital condition. I don't remember what it was. The second one was a girl with a brain hemorrhage. Her mother prayed to him and the hemorrhage healed.
Wow.
And with the congenital condition, it just disappeared. After he prayed to the saint, to the boy.
That is okay. So maybe I'm just callous. That's way more wholesome than I was expecting. When someone says gamer and miracle, I'm thinking like, oh, he got like nonstop pentakill, chains in League or something. No, but that is.
I know it was an unexpected when I was looking through the news, and because that's part of what I do daily is look through gaming news. And
man, what a world we live in.
Sometimes you need something wholesome.
No, it's like that is, and on one side that is so cyber, like he's a rocker boy. He's that young man is
he played Halo,
which makes it even funnier. The fact that he's the gamer saint being known for playing a game called Halo is life is stranger than fiction sometimes, and I love it. I love it when it's the good kind of fiction. Like 15 years ago, this would have been a dumb movie on straight to channel Comedy Central, but I love that this happened. That's really cool.
Well, and they make the little statues for their saints.
Oh, I can't wait.
He's got jeans on. He has jeans. It's so cute. It's not anything you expect.
Oh man, I know because my family on my dad's side is very religious. I can't wait to see like his saint statue or his candle come Christmas time. I don't know if they'll know. And if they don't, oh my god, that'll be a really fun story to tell them. That it is, guys. My my brain is a spinning wheel in a mud in a mud pit. I can't. It's again, this wasn't on my bingo card. Um, that's that is wild. That's cool. I love it. Ah, okay. Our timeline is going in a better direction now. That was serotonin I needed. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh man. Oh, I was like, oh, I'm gonna like that's a trivia thing now. So I'm stuck on it. So I never in 1,000 years would I anticipate a the gamer saint. Um, yeah, we're getting
I
like
can't wait to see what the medal looks like.
what I want is to see like rosary beads with like PlayStation and Xbox buttons.
Exactly.
The possibilities are endless. Oh man, that's man.
But it does, it gives younger people somebody, that they can relate to
Oh yeah,
versus, hundreds of years ago. And
yeah. It's the
Yeah.
because I haven't been to Sunday school in a very long time. I don't even remember when the most recent canonized saint was. But to have one that is
the
so
last I remember was Mother Teresa. So.
yeah, that might be it. But to have one that is like this not even like this century but like this generation.
Yeah.
You're gonna have like a lot of people that are like in the generations going forward that like will not only like live through a moment like this, but like that were like they grew up knowing the guy's voice, knowing his name, knowing his face, you know, you know, and that's so nuts. That is really really cool. And I was expecting to get clowned on or something, but that is ah
I know it's unexpected.
no, it's unexpected. It is this is a new fucking core memory. Pardon my French Twitch and YouTube, but no, that is I'll always remember the day when I learned about our new and glorious gamer saint. That's wild. Um, God, do you have if you have anything else in your segment, it's not gonna live up to this. But
Well, it's not as happy, but Hydro 74, aka Joshua M. Smith, has confirmed that Vecna Eve of Ruin was their final alternative cover for D&D.
oh, just
After 10 years of alternative covers,
mhm,
that's the last for them.
mhm. And it's go and talk about going out on a bang. Like Vecna is to D&D what Darth Vader is to Star Wars.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's you're sending it off with you sending him. Is the just is he retiring? We going to different projects, or do we not know?
Didn't say.
Mm, well, I'm hoping it is a simple just like I've done enough. Moving on to a different
I'm done.
project. Yes, um is the when it was like oh I'm stopping with with no preamble. My alarm bells go off. I hope it's something medical. I hope they're in good health. But that like that is a talk about going out with fanfare is the like
Oh, and with such beautiful, covers. I
oh
love the alternative art.
it's that they have got I think I have all the alternative covers except for the Spelljammer ones. Just because they look really good on the shelf.
Yeah.
It's definitely a like little like monkey brain of just like rubbing my hand over the like the faint like texture on the alternative cover and just like
Mhm.
oh like it's but yeah that's the sad to hear that they're going. Hopefully it is only on good terms, and I look forward to whatever else they might do in the future.
Mhm. I mean, yeah, they have this sort of elegance to them, don't they?
Oh yeah, they look like tomes. They look like just like
Yeah.
an arcane tome, and when I am you know being the dungeon master behind the screen, I I don't wear the robe as much as popular media and television wants to try and say that we do. It's way too hot under those things. And again, my players are very high energy. I get sweaty enough trying to keep up with them. They're exhausting. I love them. For those of you that are watching now or later, I love you, but chill. Um, but yeah, they definitely make you feel like Mordekainen himself, and yeah, it's the again I hope he is just going to other projects so then I can go and buy up his next projects wherever at whatever publication they are going to be working at next. Um,
I will say, over the many years that D&D 50 has been around, some of the most brilliant artists, I mean, just beautiful work, just since the beginning.
Yeah.
It's it's a really nifty thing, like because fifth edition came out when I was a couple years into college, going to college for game art, and one of my teachers was like turned out to like actually like be an artist. He did art for the bestiary. He did like the I did like the Oni and a few others. Like for like the core releases and other releases afterwards. Um, it was one of those things where you'll remember a teacher that left an impression, and it was just
Mhm.
sitting because I had some classmates that were in my campaign, and I had to be like really sneaky with my books, planning the next session like on a lunch break in the class, and the teacher would come by, it's like, go to page something something where the Oni is, like, why? It's like, see that signature? It's like, shut the fuck up. um
Really? Sign it now.
No, the guy was an absolute bro. He did. He's like
No.
he's a like super chill dude, veteran. He's like the one of the like the best teachers I ever had. Like I can count the teachers that I can say that to on one hand. Like less than five. Thank goodness, more than one. Um, but yeah, it was is yeah, it's the artists. Well, they definitely help bring those books to life, and the yeah, because it's getting back into 5e was my first time getting back into tabletop after I played 2020 in high school. I did that, like
Mm.
I did it briefly because it was a thing that people had it. I played it. I thought it was cool, and then you don't talk to those people anymore because everyone goes to college.
Mm.
But yeah, it was yeah, I tabletop art
Yeah, I
is
mean
so neat.
the the artwork. I mean, if you look at it, it's like Elmore's cover for Shadowrun is what got me started on that.
Oh god,
You
yeah.
know,
Oh.
Angus McBride's cover for Middle Earth Roleplay is what got me started on that one. And art undervalued, but such an evocative starting point for a lot of this stuff.
I mean, we're visual creatures by nature, so that's going to attract you as, what's attractive. And
Yeah.
if you ever get a chance, if you've never been to a Gary Con, you can actually meet these people that did the old stuff, face to face. And it's really a wonderful experience.
Yes, the Gary Con and Dragon Con, they're there on my and Gen Con also. They're all there on
Oh,
bucket.
Gen Con's a blast.
They're all there on a bucket list because I want to get deeper into this working in tabletop. All I can really do presently is build my body of work, but it's also like they're affording Comic Con is hard enough, and Comic Con is a 3-hour drive south of me. Forget buying a plane ticket, but that's
Yeah.
that's
Well, see,
it's the dream.
well, I mean, here in Australia, it's like the Supernova runs all around the country in various places. And the best experience I've had with those kind of cons is actually being a support person in an artist booth. Because not only when you wander through a con, you see a couple of amazing things, but when you sit in the booth, the con wanders past you. So, I saw, it was a Agent Carter as Captain America one year. Beautifully done costume. Another one I saw, Moss from the IT crowd, gender bent. So walking around with the copy of the internet in its little box and stuff. Absolutely hilarious. But just seeing not just the costumes, but the passion and all these people going past and just loving it.
Yeah.
If you can support somebody else, an artist or somebody doing this kind of stuff, step up and you'll get so much out of the experience, but you also get to meet a whole bunch of wonderful people and that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely worth it.
I guess I'll hijack for the 10 minutes we have left talking about cons. Well, Comic-Con is the end of this month. I will be attending. I sadly at the time of streaming recording, the full itinerary is not out. But the thing with last year, the writers and actors strike was in full swing by the time Comic-Con touched down. We don't have that this year, so it hopefully means you'll be getting the full experience. Hall H will be the woo nightmare experience that it is. I will be attending as a Fremen because like many people, I saw Dune Part 2 in IMAX, and I'll always remember how it has vibrated the roots of my teeth. And someone I will be going with, they made a sandworm costume from scratch. So yeah, my orange cat, bless his soul, had this the big zoomy tunnel just for recreation, and that was cannibalized for the body of the worm, and he has been inconsolable ever since. But I'll make it up to him. I'll catnip and something. He won't remember.
Give him a box.
Yeah. But yeah. So we've got the sandworm. The only thing I'm left waiting on is my Chris knife. I've got my whole still suit. And I'm excited. I haven't done an actual a cosplay like this since almost 10 years ago. When I went as the Carl Urban Judge Dredd. This one is not 100% leather, so I am looking forward to being able to breathe when I walk. But God, other than that, being the nerd media mecca that it is, while it's not Star Wars Celebration, I'm curious to see what the things we have going forward for Star Wars as a media franchise. Because for those of you that don't know, there's a show going on right now on Disney Plus that is divisive, for none of its good reasons. And I'm a professional. I forgot my overlay. There we go. Anyways, that there's the Acolyte is a show that is currently happening. That is the nicest way I can put it. People have been all up and down the internet and gathering research material and for doing this segment. There's so much vitriol on both sides. It's actually frustrating to be considered part of the Star Wars fandom and seeing how these people will spit across the aisle at each other. It's all objective. The show's writing isn't great, which is really upsetting because they've got Trinity from The Matrix. But even if the writing isn't great, the choreography is really good. The costumes are pretty solid. I'm not a fan of the High Republic white and gold look. But I came up on the Old Republic, I can't even blank on his name. The Darth Nihilus on the KOTOR games. This one feels really clean in some aspects. Really, I don't know. The show's weird. Doesn't know what it wants to be. and I think that's my biggest problem with it. It doesn't have an identity. Where like, if you're looking like the Mandalorian, right? Because I enjoyed the Mandalorian. Did you guys enjoy the Mandalorian?
Definitely the first season.
Yeah.
I just sort of got lost a little bit after that.
Sure, because the Mandalorian, at the very least, it didn't hide what it was. That opening segment was straight out of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It was a Western. The Mandalorian, his spurs go jingle jangle, even though he doesn't actually wear spurs, which bothers my OCD to no end. But it knows what it is. It definitely it is a mix of like a the good, the bad, and the ugly. The Clint Eastwood spaghetti western, and then also brought in like Lone Wolf and Cub. One of my favorite mangas of all time. And it kept to that pretty solidly until it the no matter how strong Beskar is, that was holding the hopes and dreams of the entire brand for a good few years. I enjoyed Andor. Not a lot of people did, but it was for me, it was a good like heist and like spy flick. I liked pieces of Kenobi, but it was one of those things where it kind of got lost in its own sauce for me. But it's that I don't want to be a bummer because I love Star Wars. I think all of us have have core memories of Star Wars. I think everyone who has watched film has a core memory of Star Wars, and we all want it to be good. We want to have the things we enjoyed to be things we can keep enjoying, and also it goes to show where like the whatever like thing they're like whatever writing they're doing right now isn't working, and it's the characters are falling flat, and when you have in any story, you need characters you care about, right? And we were talking earlier about the before the cameras were rolling, like the house the House of Dragon. Is that the
House of the Dragon?
House of the Dragon.
Westeros.
Yeah, it's the House of, not How to Train Them.
That was a cute movie.
Oh,
I still enjoy it.
Yeah, I absolutely love How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2. I thoroughly enjoy 3. Kung Fu Panda 2 makes me cry at a single specific timestamp every single time. For those of you who haven't watched it, watch it. You'll probably be able to guess. But it's a good characters, and also the cute animals help too. But it's having like characters with a with a weight to them. They don't necessarily always need dimension, but they need to have character. It's like when like watch like Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones like is a very simple character, but he's written well, and he's played very well. I'm not going to touch on the Dial of Destiny because I have a point I'm trying to make. Though but segue into the one other thing, the thing that I am definitely looking forward to when it comes to summer releases. You're talking about games and whatnot, but characters can be simple. Characters don't need more facets than your favorite D20. This goes from just entertainment standpoint, but also for you burgeoning GMs out there. If you're part of the Cybernation Uncensored community, and you joined because you saw Rob's GM tips, this is for you. You can have a character be very simple, almost a cardboard cutout, but they can be a trope and a trait. You just need to portray them in a way that is engaging,
totally committed.
That is committed and engaging, and that trope or trait can be negative too.
I'll give you a great example.
Everyone loves a shit heel, so don't be afraid to.
Yeah. Somebody you love to hate.
Oh yeah,
Gaius Baltar, for you Battlestar Galactica fans. Ooh, that was I wanted to slap that man every time I saw his face and heard his voice. Oh my god. But a guy, yeah,
But that's the art of a really well crafted character, and George R.R. Martin did it really well. My wife tossed the book when she got to the Red Wedding because she's got this guy's psychotic,
yeah.
and it's like, yeah, he's really, really good at creating characters you can root for, you can love, they get enough thing, and then he just sinks the knife in.
Yep. Yeah.
And yeah,
he makes you care for these characters like they're your own family, and then he plays Russian roulette with a full chamber. Yeah,
yes,
it's brutal, and it's grimdark, and that's where Indiana Jones and grimdark go into the two things that I'm definitely looking forward to at the end of summer. First off is the game I did not expect, not from the studio I expected, but as the Indiana Jones and I think it's the Great Circle, or is it Golden Circle? But we're getting an Indiana Jones video game made by the guys that did Wolfenstein, the new Wolfenstein, Machine Games.
All right.
And it looks really good. I don't want to say I got misty-eyed watching the trailer, but they had the music, the voice, the action, everything, and you're like, this is what I always wanted. I'm a sucker for nostalgia bait like that. I just hope the game lives up to it, because Machine Games is owned by Bethesda. It's still also Bethesda. It still just works. But then the second and the final thing I'm looking forward to after 12 years is Space Marine 2. Because I'm a simple man. I like big chunky armor, big guns that go Daka, and I like it when my swords go because some of my longest friendships were built off of the sweaty nerd odor of the Games Workshop wargaming floor. Space Wolves represent. Spencer, if you're watching, you Dark Angel player, you're a filthy nerd. But as from the media tour that has been going absolutely hot, wild, it looks incredible. I'm eager to see how quickly my office will become a sauna running that game at max graphics, because they have this whole like swarm mechanics for the Tyranids now, so you're gonna have like suppose thousands on screen. I don't know what's going to be pre-rendered or it's actually going to be what we can actually interact with, but it's something that that Astartes power fantasy that people that like Space Marines have always wanted, and the summer started great with Tsushima coming to Steam. I loved that game on PlayStation. It was even prettier, even better on computer. We got Dawn Trail last week, that the Final Fantasy 14 expansion that I've been enjoying with my my group of weeaboo nerds. I almost got to the end of the story quest right before we had to hop in and give you guys this show. But yeah, it's a solid summer for video gaming, and now with the Fantasy Grounds sale, a solid summer for tabletop gaming too. But we're going a little bit over. I can keep rambling and gushing about all this nerd stuff that we also care about. That's why we're here. We like to talk about the things we like. But
yes.
Anyway, for those of you that tuned in, be it now or in the future, thank you, viewers presently, and thank you, viewers from Tomorrowland. I am your perpetually disheveled host, Alex, once again joined by Gomi and our new and hopefully reoccurring face, Paulette. This has been Talk Nerdy to Me on Cybernation Uncensored, and I will be talking to you guys later. Have a good one.
Bye all.
Bye, y'all.
Cybernation Uncensored.